Welcome into the Cheeley Law Review. My name is Ben Burnett, and my guest today is Bob Cheeley, the man, the myth, the legend here at the Cheeley Law Group. Bob, how are you?
Better than I deserve, Ben.
I've heard a guy named Dave Ramsey say that about 1,000,000 times.
Yep, I borrowed it from him.
I want to ask you about self-driving cars in 2024, moving into 2025. And I want to understand the technology and the things that are taking place today, because we've really seen it accelerate, no pun intended, to a place where it is a lot more commonplace today than it was. Can you talk about your experience around self-driving cars personally and professionally?
Sure. I look back over my life and I see now that the cars that I grew up with in the 70s and 80s compared to the cars today, these cars today are not your, to borrow the old cliche, these are not your grandpa's
Oldsmobile
or your grandmother's Oldsmobile. The cars today are very advanced, but with advancements come problems. We're beginning to see those problems manifest themselves where these vehicles actually cause collisions that really severely injure people and kill people. And these systems are called advanced driver assistance systems, ADAS.
When you look at that today, do you have a car that has any of these features?
I do. I've got a pickup truck, a GMC pickup truck, and it's definitely not my grandpa's pickup.
No.
And I also have a Cadillac Escalade that has it. Just drove that Escalade down to South Georgia for a hearing yesterday, drove it back, and it drove itself for the better part of that trip, and it's amazing. But you still have to be on the lookout, and I don't totally trust it.
Do you think that it's a technology that ultimately learns from itself? Do you think it gets to a place where it is the reliable feature in vehicular transportation? And do you think that it is something that becomes commonplace where everybody trusts it moving forward?
Time will tell is the best answer I can give to that. You know, Tesla kind of has led the industry in that regard, and with their system, it's called Autopilot. Even though Tesla, as good as it is in setting, I guess, the industry standard for self-driving autonomous vehicles, there have been plenty of instances where Tesla's vehicles have killed people by running under tractor-trailer trucks or by running over pedestrians, failure to detect somebody on the sidewalk or crossing the street. There's still, I think, a long way to go with these cars, but Tesla has caused all the other automakers to try to follow their lead. So now all the other major automakers are coming out with their own versions of ADAS systems.
When you look at ADAS systems, what goes into it? Is it radar? Is it cell phone technology? What all goes into it today? And where do you see the vast majority of issues with the technology?
Well, a lot of this technology began with the U.S. military. And you remember Desert Storm?
Oh, yes.
So
does my father.
Yeah, Desert Storm. We entered the 21st century of modern warfare with the GPS systems, guiding missiles. I mean, you remember seeing the missiles being launched from ships.
The green lights.
Right. And they would travel down city streets and turn left at, a street and then bomb a building or bomb a car with terrorists. And so that same technology is now being utilized to guide our cars and trucks on the roads of our country. And it uses GPS, it uses cameras mounted in the car or truck, and it uses radar sensors on the cars and trucks to guide the vehicle. These computers on board also are supposed to be learning as the car travels, but they have to teach the car really through AI technologies before the car is released for production. They have to teach the systems to recognize things like white lines on interstates, construction warning signs, exit signs, and a whole host of things to make the car behave as a human would want it to behave.
Are you seeing lawsuits with these ADAS vehicles today? And talk about some of the ones that you've been following.
Yes, I'm seeing them here in our practice. We've got a few of these that we're handling, and I'm also seeing them among a lot of my colleagues who handle these type of automotive product liability cases nationwide. A lot of these cases, we see that a vehicle does not abide by the parameters that were designed for it to follow. I've got a case right now against a major automaker for one of the best-selling trucks in the world, which exited an interstate. Instead of following the white lines, it went straight into the grass gore at the exit and collided with a huge tree and killed the driver.
Man.
That system would not allow the driver to steer the vehicle. We downloaded the black box, and we could tell from that black box data that he was steering the vehicle to the right, but it didn't respond. It went straight and led to his death.
How does somebody get in touch with you if they or a family member or a close friend has been involved in something like this?
They can call our office. We're based just north of Atlanta in Alpharetta, Georgia, and it's CheeleyLawGroup.com, and you can go there to find our contact information both by email and our phone number.
This has been another episode of the Cheeley Law Review. We'll see you guys next time.